At the end of our last episode, I left off promising that next time we'd discuss how Black Ops 1 took the zombies formula from World at War and expanded it even further. But I had to take us on this little detour before moving on to Black Ops, because it's such a key part of the zombies experience on PC. I'm of course talking about custom zombies in Call of Duty World at War, a feature which has kept the game mode alive well after official support for it ended. Before we dive into what made custom zombies so alluring in World at War, we first need to talk about what made these maps possible in the first place: the game's mod tools. For those of you unaware, mod tools are what Activision, at least in the past, would release to the community shortly after the release day of the game. It also should be noted these tools are only released for the PC version of the game, so console players like me in 2008 can only sit and watch their favorite YouTubers explore this fun new universe of custom maps. These mod tools are designed for the most hardcore of fans to get their hands dirty and create all things from custom game modes, characters, and even maps. For World at War, these mod tools were officially released on November 21st, 2008, only 10 days after the launch of the game itself. Our story starts around this time, maybe 2 years later? To be honest, I'm not too sure, and I've really tried my best to figure out what the first ever custom zombies map was. But with YouTube no longer allowing you to search by the oldest video anymore, and links on these older forums of the era not working, it's been a challenge to figure out what map came out first. I've narrowed it down to two maps which people recall being the first: Subway and Dead Sand. Dead Sand is a map that takes place along an unknown beach where you and your teammates spawn in alongside some friendly AI soldiers. Zombies can not only spawn at some of the small windows along the trench like we're used to, but also from the shoreline itself, which is simultaneously incredibly cool and terrifying at the same time. All early custom zombies maps were initially based on Knocked, as it was the only map available at the release of the mod tools. The upside to this is that the zombies have the iconic movements and sounds from Nocturne Totem, which really adds to the creepy atmosphere of Dead Sand. Now, the gameplay footage that you're seeing here is from a more recent version of Dead Sand called Dead Sand Elite. Some major changes to the map include some tweaks to the zombie AI, which makes them spawn in different patterns, and also includes a boss zombie, which is 6 times harder to kill than a traditional zombie. There's also new power-up drops like speed boost, and most importantly, perks have been introduced. Now, it's not your traditional perk system that we're used to from Verrucht. Instead, these perks are received as drops from the zombies and can't be purchased. A side note from perks in Call of Duty World at War custom zombies that I really adore is how creative map makers were when it came to their custom perks they would add in. For Dead Sand Elite, we have an endless grenade perk, which, gives you an endless supply of grenades. All jokes aside, it's pretty cool. Reading the change description, not only do you earn grenades every second or so, if you have Speed Cola or Sleight of Hand, remember this is pre-Verrucht, it replenishes your grenades even faster. But by far my favorite perk added to Dead Sand is the 3 primaries perk, or as we all know it, Mule Kick. It's perks and features like this which makes me wonder how much inspiration Treyarch took from the community's creations when implementing new features in later titles. Despite the additions of these perks, this is still a knock-based map, and it's still difficult. And not just in comparison to modern zombies maps, but even compared to its Treyarch-produced siblings like in the DLC maps. Like yeah, Verrucht is hard, but at least you could strategize to get Jug and help your survival chances. In Dead Sand Elite, you better hope and pray the first drop you see is Jug, or be prepared for the classic World at War double swing experience. I can just hear that game over noise in my head now. To me, this map is one of the best examples of what a World at War custom map is in my mind. A map that builds on the strong core of zombies that Treyarch began, with interesting map designs and perk systems. This is the map that I personally remember seeing for the first time when I began to watch custom zombies content, and like I stated before, it's been really hard to pinpoint which map was the first definitive custom zombies map. But I think the next map we're going to talk about may be the very first. Based off my research into zombie modding forums and deep dives into YouTube, Subway is what appears to be the first custom map in World at War history. One of the earliest videos I could find dates back to December 6th of 2008, shows off the very first iteration of the map when it was based on Knock strictly. Looking back on Subway, the layout and level of detail is absolutely insane, especially when you consider the short time window that the map was released in, which again, the mod tools released at the end of November 2008, and the video I found was posted in early December of that same year. Less than a month since the mod tools came out, and Subway feels absolutely amazing to play. There's a lot of space to maneuver around, and the scale of the whole map really nails the, Subway aesthetic. It seriously feels like I'm walking through a subway station in a bombed out city, which to me is a great accomplishment for one of the earliest custom maps. Now, good map layout design aside, Subway is still based on Knocked, which means it still shares the same mechanics, and it still shares the same core gameplay that we all come to know and love, like double swinging and the lack of perks. So that means you'll have games that may not be as entertaining as newer maps, or games that'll require a quick restart from downs. Luckily for us, later on in World at War's lifecycle, another modder ported this map to be based on the Darice engine, which means Subway V2 has perks, Pack-a-Punch, and our last 4 cast of characters to bring the map to life a little bit more, and it overall improves the quality of life during gameplay. For those reasons alone, this is the map I'd recommend most people play, but there is still something special about loading up the original bare bones Subway for a trip back to the map that really kicked off everything we know and love about custom zombies in the community.
Shut up and sit down.
Now, there's more to World at War custom zombies besides the first maps we've talked about. Like, a lot more.
Who's there?
The incredible amount of innovation, new ideas, and creativity within World at War alone is nauseating. This custom map community was, and always has been, dedicated to creating so many experiences to fill the fan base's need for new maps during times when Treyarch either dropped the ball or didn't release anything new for us. And that really held true during the time between Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2. The fan base was dying for something new, and custom map modders really delivered on that promise. Some standouts that I thoroughly enjoy playing include maps from the UGX series, like Como Esa and Requiem, challenge maps like the Cheese Cube series, Dollhouse 2, and my personal favorite, Clinic of Evil. To me, a map like Clinic of Evil is the peak of what World at War custom zombies can be. It's a map where the designer learned from the newer Treyarch maps, which in this case is the classic Mob of the Dead, and has integrated some features in a way that feel pretty special in the World at War engine. It also draws heavy inspiration from real-life locations, which the mapmaker has documented from an urban exploration video that they went on, to what appears to be an abandoned asylum in the middle of a forest. After several playthroughs of the map, I can say that the creator expertly recreated this location. And if you compare the gameplay footage to their exploration video, not only is it a faithful recreation of the location, but the scale of the map is incredibly accurate as well. The Easter egg steps aren't too convoluted to follow, but it can still put you in some challenging situations. The variety of weapons are strong and incredibly fun to use, and the spooky, creepy factor that I've always loved from World at War Zombies is definitely palpable and very much welcomed. Clinic of Evil plays and feels like a map made by a team with a lot of money and a lot of manpower behind it, despite being made by a single person. And right there is it. That's what's always made World at War Zombies so special to play my entire life. When I was younger and only had the console version, this mode had so much passion and effort put into an incredibly fun gameplay loop, despite having so little resources allocated to its creation. By the very nature of community development using mod tools, Custom Zombies has always captured the same feeling too. Mostly single individuals working on a map just for the fun of it, to challenge themselves to constantly be better. As a kid with an Xbox 360, I could only watch my favorite YouTubers experience with this firsthand. And when I finally got my own gaming PC, you can bet the first thing I did was go back and play all the maps that I've watched growing up. Maps which, compared to modern zombies, still hold up to the standard we've been accustomed to since the newer releases. For anyone watching this that has been burned out with the current direction of the series,
This game, this map literally looks better than Black Ops 3.
or maybe you just haven't gotten to experience World at War custom maps, do yourself a favor. Grab a copy of World at War, grab some buddies, and download some maps to experience where the custom maps first begin. I promise you won't be disappointed in what you find here.